there, every pony, bronies, and Pegasisters of all ages. Welcome once again to Like a Ditzy Do, a video blog about the My Little Pony collectible card game. I am your host, the Nate Damn Z, and it is time once again to discuss the most important question in the fandom. Who is best princess? That's right, folks. After more than 2.5 years of waiting and hiatuses and vague answers about when one block ended and the next one began, we can finally start digging into which princess main deserves to reign over the game's second block. And while it really is interesting to me about how we have literally a third as many cards to talk about this time, this decision's actually going to be harder to make. Like I said last episode, the Odysseys block is where I feel this game finally clicked. And as such, all three mains we're going to be talking about today are really good in their own way. But let's stop talking about cards. Let's talk about the cards! Though, if you'll humor me. First, presenting the challenger residing in Ponyville, Equestria! So this time I'm going to do the reverse of what I did with Best Princess Main 1 and start with the character with the most cards, then go back down to the character with just one, which ironically means Luna's the last one both times. Of course, that also means we're starting things off with the princess who was left out of the first video, because Princess Twilight Sparkle is the very first princess of the Odysseys block. And wow, not only did I forget how good she is, I don't think I ever realized just how good. I mean, first of all, she's super easy to flip. And I don't just mean with the ton of friends with Meticulous we have now. No, if your starting problem is Ancient Research from Canterlot Knights, you can flip her as easily as your second turn. And once she's flipped, she's basically a perpetual action token machine. Well, okay, so she doesn't become that immediately upon flipping, but nearly so. It's easy enough to get a friend at home, and with Meticulous, she basically triggers herself. Granted, you have to exhaust her to get that action token, which means you could be without 3 power for confronting or face-offs. But honestly, I don't really see that as being too much of an issue here. I mentioned this in one of my unwrapping videos, but Mare, Vote of Confidence, and Moon Dancer Page Turner are pretty much mandatory if you even have one card with Meticulous. They each get more powerful each time you put a card on top of your deck, +1 and +2 respectively. So even if you have just one of each in play, triggering Twilight's Meticulous 1 to get your action tokens already covers the 3 you'll be losing. But really, with this main and those friends, spamming Meticulous is almost too good to pass up. Not only that, but as I mentioned in another episode, putting a card on top of your deck is pretty much Purple's new deal in the Odysseys block. Even ignoring Meticulous, there are a ton of ways to do it, including a certain event that I have a hard time not including in all my Purple decks for all time forever. Plus, I'm sure there are ways you can ready her during your turn and then trigger her ability again to gain even more action tokens. If you know what they are, please let me know. I haven't finished building her deck, so I'll use whatever tips I can get. But of course, you completely ignore all of that, or any other strategy altogether, and this card is still really good. You don't even have to build around her, because even just one action token can be the difference between a win and a loss. So yes, Princess Twilight Sparkle, Ambassador of Friendship, is really, really darn good. But is she the best? Princess Twi's second main isn't as obviously impressive as her first, but like I said in the preamble, she's good in her own way. We have the now standard flip condition of confront her problem, and then, well, she's pretty darn versatile, ain't she? I imagine the first impulse is to look at just how good she is at debuffing your opponent's troublemakers. One action token to decrease its power by 2 is a good deal. And consider you can keep playing it until it's down to 0. It's a great way to deal with troublemakers that are, well, making trouble. But note how she doesn't specify your opponent's troublemaker. I haven't experimented with it yet myself, but even I know that troublemaker control could be a darn good strategy. And with immediate, if it looks like your opponent is about to smite the troublemaker that you've been using to keep them at bay, the same 1 will get you 2 formula. You could boost it and hopefully keep it around to mess up their game for another turn. I feel like she'd be great for villain farming too. Boost your villain to stop your opponent from defeating it on their turn, and then weaken it and take the points on yours. Fun times! Now, all that boosting and weakening will obviously get expensive action token wise, but she's purple. Gaining extra action tokens in purple is still pretty easy, especially in the Harmony format. Professor Sparkle is a really fun, solid main that I found myself getting more and more excited about as I worked on the script. That said, she serves a fairly specific purpose that has to be built around. If you decide not to use troublemakers in your deck, not only do you lose half of her versatility, but you have to hope your opponent uses them in theirs. Otherwise, she serves literally no purpose. Meanwhile, as stated earlier, Ambassador's ability is just useful no matter how you build your deck. Even if you do nothing else to take advantage of what she does, that extra action token can be useful. So in this battle of the 2 Twilights, Ambassador takes home the gold. Now, does this mean I think that Ambassador Twilight is best princess? Well, like I said at the start, and as we're about to see, the answer really isn't as easy to answer this time. So, with that said, and her opponent, residing in the royal palace in Canterlot, she is the best princess of Premier Block! So, in my first episode on this subject, I may have said that Interplay was going to have to introduce something really spectacular to compete with Luna. And I more or less stand by that. She is pretty ridiculous. Point the first. She's easy to flip. Heck, playing a friend to the same problem is usually pretty easy to accomplish, no matter what problems you use. So I dare say she's easier to flip than the confront this card's problem standard. You'd still have to wait until your second turn, but really there are relatively few mains that can flip on turn 1. Point the second. Once she's flipped, she's really, really easy to move. Again, unless you're having some really bad luck, playing friends should be easy to do. And it doesn't matter when in the game you do this. See your opponent focusing on the other problem? Play a friend there, move Luna. Have to send some pony home because you lost a troublemaker face-off? Pick Luna, play another friend, move her back for free. And now you're more boosted for the next time you fight the troublemaker. Getting ready to move ponies from home after a DFO or fracas? You get the idea, right? All in all, I feel justified in my Terminator reference. She's darn near unstoppable. I really thought it would be nigh impossible to come up with another main that could realistically stand a chance of taking Luna's title of Best Princess. However, as I admitted earlier, I hadn't taken a really close look at what Princess Twilight Sparkle, Ambassador of Friendship, could do until I started working on this video. Like I said, I knew that she was good, I just didn't realize how good. So really, this is what it comes down to. Which is better, movement or action tokens? I want to say this was a hard decision. That's only because once certain things were pointed out to me, I was in denial. I was so sure that no pony could defeat Luna. I tried to justify it despite knowing better. Because as awesome and powerful easy movement is, it doesn't mean a thing if you can't pay for it. So congratulations, Princess Twilight. You are
officially
the best princess main of the Odysseys block.
I will always be grateful.
I am really curious to see what princess characters we'll get as the current block continues, especially since the first one we got is not an alicorn. However, I'm not really sure I'll be doing a video on the subject. In case you didn't see my update video, this will be the last episode proper of Like a Ditzy Do. I'm very much considering making one more video under this brand that's a farewell / send-off / series finale / whatever you want to call it. But if I do, I really need your help. Please send me questions to answer, messages to read, videos to include, or suggest anything you'd like to see in that type of video. Otherwise, it's probably just going to be me rambling about stuff you've already heard me ramble about. This is not a sad ending, though. I'll be starting another video series before too long. I'm thinking around the start of 2020. One about the broader topic of gaming, and just gaming in general. So I could easily revisit this particular game that I love so well. Maybe I will talk about which princess is best in the third block somewhere down the line. But until then, I am and will remain the Nate Damsey, and I absolutely love you so much for watching. Till next time.
FABULOUS